He went to the market and never came back. But his shop still opens every morning. And the herbs? Fresh. Arranged. Like someone, or something, is still working inside. They say market days never lie. And in my village of Umuolu, a market day is more than just trade, it's the pulse of life. People sell yams, goats, clay pots, amulets, and gossip. But no one ever expected a market day to carry a curse. Especially not Odogwu, the most respected herbalist in Umuolu. I still remember the last time I saw him. It was a bright morning. Odogwu stood by the roadside with his carved staff, his wrapper tight at his waist, his leather pouch slung across his shoulder. He looked strong for his age, tall, dark-skinned with sharp eyes that had seen too much. He greeted me that morning. "Now, watch over my compound. I'll be back before the cock crows twice tomorrow." But he never came back. We waited. 1 day passed. Then 2. By the 4th day, his wives went to the palace in tears. His 3 apprentices stood like carved trees beside them, shaking their heads. The chief called a village meeting. Search parties went to every market in the neighboring towns, Ogbinaik, Okuzu, Umunya. Nothing. No Odogwu. Not even his staff. That was 1 year ago. But here's the strange part. Despite Odogwu's disappearance, his shop never closed. Every morning, his wooden door would creak open by itself. Inside, the herbs were freshly arranged, as if someone had just swept the place. Bottles were sealed. Calabashes polished. His sacred stool untouched. At first, the villagers thought it was his apprentices. But they denied it. Swore on their fathers' graves. Refused to even go near the shop. Since Baba left, we dare not enter. Something opens that door. Not us. I didn't believe them. Until the day I saw it with my own eyes. It was a cool evening. The sky was blood orange. I had just returned from the stream, and as I passed Odogwu's compound, the door opened by itself. No wind. No footsteps. Just a slow, deliberate creak. Then something moved inside. A faint rustling. Like someone flipping through leaves. I took 3 steps forward. And stopped. There, sitting on Odogwu's stool, was no one. But the chair was rocking gently. And there was fresh chalk drawn in a circle on the ground. A circle that hadn't been there earlier that day. I ran. The whispers started after that. Some said Odogwu had never gone missing, that he simply crossed into another realm. That he had found a way to trade in both worlds, the living and the spirits. Others said he was taken because he tried to sell a forbidden herb, one that belonged to the ancient trees near Yuda Forest. A leaf that no man was meant to touch. But one thing was clear. His shop remained active. People swore they saw shadows moving in it at night. And every full moon, someone reported a strange knock on their door, followed by a gift of herbs on their doorstep. Now here's where I come in. I was his last customer. The day before he vanished, I bought a leaf mixture from him for my sick mother. He told me, "If anything happens, go behind my hut. Dig where the white stones form a triangle. What you find there, never use it unless you have no choice." I had forgotten those words. Until the day my mother collapsed again. And that night, I stood behind his hut, holding a shovel. What I dug up was not what I expected. Not medicine. Not bones. But a folded market list, written in blood. And at the bottom were names. Names of villagers. Names that included mine. You know how they say some secrets are better left buried? Well, I should have left that list in the ground. When I unwrapped the blood-stained paper behind Odogwu's hut, I expected maybe a charm or hidden recipe. But this was something else. There were 12 names written on it. all in shaky, red handwriting that smelled faintly like iron. And the last name, right at the bottom, was mine. Chuka Nadezi. My hands trembled. My breath caught. I scanned the other names. Esh died from a mysterious cough. Momankechi, found dead in her sleep. Okizi, vanished after visiting the market. I recognized almost all of them. All gone. All within the year Odogwu disappeared. I didn't understand. What did this list mean? Was it a curse? A ritual? Suddenly, a low whistle cut through the air. Rising and falling in a tune I knew too well, Odogwu's blessing chant. I spun around. Nobody. The night was silent again. I stuffed the list into my wrapper and fled. The next morning, I took the list to Dibia Motsi Ukando, the oldest spiritualist in Umuolu. A man even Odogwu used to greet with respect. He took one look at the paper and dropped it like it burned him. Where did you find this? Behind Odogwu's hut. He told me before he disappeared. Shut your mouth, he snapped. That man did not disappear. He was claimed. I frowned. Claimed by who? Motsi Ukando stared at me for a long time. Then he sighed. Odogwu was part of an ancient trade, the market of midnight paths. A place where you don't sell things, you sell people. I froze. What? He made a pact. Every market day, he would offer one name to the unseen ones in exchange for power, wealth, and time. My chest tightened. You mean he was sacrificing people? Not in the way you think, Ukando said. The chosen don't always die. Sometimes, they disappear. Sometimes, they lose their mind. But their essence is taken. Used. That's why Odogwu never aged. That's why his herbs never failed. I whispered, why is my name on the list then? He looked me dead in the eye. Because you were next. That night, I couldn't sleep. I burned the list. I sprinkled protective ash around my compound. I didn't even blink. Then, at exactly 2 a.m., someone knocked on my door. Not a loud knock. Just 3 soft, rhythmic taps. I didn't answer. Then I heard his voice. Chuka. I told you not to use what was buried. My skin crawled. I picked up my father's old machete, tiptoed to the door, and flung it open. No one. But there was something on the ground. A fresh calabash. Filled with dark green herbs. And a folded note. Come to the market square before sunrise. Alone. Or the next list will begin. I shouldn't have gone. But I did. I arrived just before dawn. The sky was still deep blue. The marketplace, empty. Except for one stall. Odogwu's stall. He was standing behind it, arranging herbs. Like he never left. But he looked different. You weren't supposed to dig it up, he said without looking at me. I stepped forward. Why was my name there? Because the market demands payment. I delayed it. But the list renews itself. I swallowed. So all those people, you gave them up. He finally looked at me. They were already dying. Sick. Forgotten. I offered what they had left. My stomach turned. You're evil. He shook his head. I was a healer. Until healing became too slow. The market gave me what the gods never did, instant results. And now? I asked. Now, it wants me back. Unless I give it someone new. He reached into his pouch and pulled out a knife carved from bone. Take this. Offer someone. Anyone. Your name will be removed. I stepped back. I'd rather die. He smiled sadly. That's what I said, 20 years ago. As the sun rose, something strange happened. The ground beneath the stall began to glow. Voices whispered, but not in any human tongue. Thick shadows emerged behind Odogwu, reaching for him. He looked at me with wide eyes. "They are taking me," he screamed as the shadows wrapped around him like vines, dragging him backwards into the stall, which melted into the earth. I stood there, frozen. And when the sun finally rose, there was nothing left. No stall. No Odogwu. No footprints. Only a single word written in red sand. Trade closed. No one has heard of Odogwu again. His hut is empty. His herbs gone. The door never opens again. And me. I still live. But sometimes, on market days, I hear a whistle behind me. A soft chant. And once, I found a new list, nailed to my door. The first name. Not mine. But someone else in the village. So I burned it. Again. And waited. Because now I know. The market of midnight paths never closes forever. It just changes hands.